Hey, what is up, everybody? Platform Disciple here, back again with more announcements. Because I was wrong. Infinity Wars is very active in development right now. So they released an announcement for what will be coming in the next patch. You can see right now, it says draft rewards and card packs. I'll go into that in a minute. First of all, I want to say in the previous video, I talked about the Swarmer cards, and I was wrong about them. Actually, let me load up the Swarmer deck that I built after learning that I was wrong. You can use spells in, or abilities in Swarmer decks now. And it's this Swarmer Broodlord only restricts your character cards, which is better. I still think after trying it out with a few different factions that the Swarmers are not good enough, but one key factor that might be holding them back, among other things, because I do think it's a weaker strategy overall, is that for whatever reason, I think this has to be a bug. The Ascending Swarmer is not allowed in the Swarmer deck, so I guess he's not coded properly as a insectoid or whatever, so we won't be seeing much of him, I guess, until that's fixed. Anyways, let's talk about the draft changes. I'm going to queue up for the draft that I'm running right now, so we can talk about those while there's some gameplay in the background. So, first of all, they are increasing the price of entry for a draft to 2,500 IP, and let's see, 85 LP. I have some notes over here, which sounds bad at first, but it's still worth noting that that's substantially less than a booster pack for those of you who are savvy enough to, get good rewards in the draft system. Moving on, though, the reason for the price changes are actually that they're revamping the rewards, notably, the system rewards players for doing better more easily. So let's see. At 5 wins, you'll now be guaranteed a rare, 10 wins an epic, and 21 wins a legendary card, which, no question about it, that is a substantial improvement from before. But I honestly didn't think the rewards were that bad before, so I don't know. But it's really nice because now, if you do well, you're not likely to get something like a random uncommon that you probably already owned, which is just, that's super desirable. Also, they said, although they didn't exactly clarify what this meant, that at higher wins you could get premium rewards, which is going to be foil cards, of course, and golden bordered cards, etc. But I don't know if that meant higher than 21 or if it meant higher than 5, so I'm not sure, but the point is that they are there now. You can now get premium rewards. It is possible for you to do. And yeah, that's good. Let's see, what else do we have to talk about? Oh yes, so I mentioned in the previous video that they are adding a new blue infinity border, and they have revealed at least one way you're going to be able to get that infinity border now, which is through the draft system. If you do very well, if you're on the top 50 of the leaderboard by the end of the week, you can get substantial rewards, which is pretty awesome. It's worth noting, however, that the Infinity Border cards will only be for rank numero uno except maybe when I said higher wins will get premium rewards. Like I said, they didn't exactly explain that, so there might be a small chance for you to get an infinity border if you just get a lot of wins, but you will be guaranteed them if you are number one on the leaderboard by the end of the week, which, if for those of you who don't know, is Tuesday, I think midnight Infinity Wars time, which I guess that doesn't matter that much. But anyways, let's go into what the rewards are exactly. For numero uno, if you are number one, which I will remind you is very hard. I have not done it, and I don't think I tend to do poorly in Rift runs. I would like to say that I do better than average. But let's see. I mean, I've seen, generally, I think number one is up in the 30s or 50s marks, and I think the highest I have ever gotten was something like 25. Just to put things in perspective for you guys. So that's hard. That is very hard to do. It's not impossible, but it's very hard. Someone will be getting the Infinity Border cards every week. That's one thing that's interesting. At least one person is going to be getting them. It's just a question of who's getting them. Or I guess that's the best way to put it. Who is going to get them is the real question, not whether people will get them. It's someone's getting them, but who's it going to be? So numbers 2 through 5. Oh, actually, I haven't finished about number 1. So number 1 gets 3 Infinity Border cards, but they also get 3 premium rares. So that could be foil or gold foils, and then 5 pentapacks, which I'll go into what that means in a minute. But first I want to go through, the rest of the rewards. Let's see. So ranks 2 through 5 will get 2 premium rares, like I said, foil or gold foil. And they will also get 5 pentapacks. So once again, these pentapacks, mysterious thing that I will explain. And 26 through 50 will get 1 foil and 3 pentapacks. And just real quick, they made it very clear that the rewards will all be tradable with the exception of the Infinity Bordered cards. So actually, let me cancel this for a minute so we can look at the leaderboard. So this is Wednesday. So, and is it? I'm trying to figure out if I'm on the same date as the Infinity Wars calendar, but we're looking at 39 wins at the top. Top 50, however, we're gonna go look, is 5 wins. But I think this is very early in the week because, once again, it's Wednesday. But the point is that getting in the top 50 might be very doable. And for those of you who actually managed to get in the top 5, a round of applause for you. But you won't get those Infinity Border cards unless you get rank 1. Infinity Border cards are going to be highly coveted and prestigious items. I think there's no question about it. But because they aren't tradable, that means it's really just a trophy. Very nice trophy, especially if you get a very good card for it. Okay. So yeah, it's going to cost more to enter into the drafts, but you're going to overall be getting just better rewards, and substantially better rewards if you are playing well. Okay, so we're gonna have to go discuss what the pentapacks are, because that came up a couple times. One thing is that, as the name describes, they have 5 cards instead of 15. It's also worth noting that the pentapacks are going to outright replace the current booster pack system. Notably, that doesn't matter that much. for the most part. One thing that you might want to keep in mind, at least, is that this means that the Star Trek and Omni packs, admittedly these aren't legal except in casual modes, those will be going away. So if you want those, I don't, but if you want them, you need to get them now, or before the next patch comes, which I don't know if there's a timestamp on that, but I would be willing to bet that since they made this announcement, it's going to happen in the next week or so. Let's see. So yeah, 5 cards. For those of you who play Hearthstone, that is very similar to Hearthstone's system. I think that overall they're noticing that there are some very good elements in Hearthstone, at least their draft system and their booster pack system, and they're kind of copying them. So you might be thinking, well, 5 cards is a lot less, so I'm getting a lot less cards. Isn't that just worse? And if you're concerned about that, fear not, I guess, because the packs are going to cost less. They're going to be 3,000 IP or 150 LP, so that's just substantially cheaper. And you might say that, so I think before it was 15 cards and now it's 5. It might seem odd to you that the price isn't 1/3 of what it used to be, but the reason is that you still get 1 guaranteed rare, at least, in every pack of 5 cards. So that means the rare density goes up, and rare density is something that you should care a lot about, because admittedly the commons and uncommons in this game are fantastically good, but it's worth noting that if you're trying to get certain rare cards for a deck, whether you're a new player or a returning player, it's really, really helpful to have higher rare density. It's going to be better for every kind of player, I think. Let's see. So there are going to be 10 different kinds of pentapacks. There's going to be a core pack, which is going to replace, I guess, kind of everything that you're used to. So the core pack, the way that works is all of the existing sets are going to be kind of conglomerated together into, I guess, this core pack. Which means if you get a core pack, you have a chance of getting any card from any set. Which the idea behind that is, for new players in particular, it was very, very difficult to tell which pack was the one that was worth getting, if that's worth talking about. Because I think that most of the packs are pretty equal in power level, but it's still a complication for new players that it just makes the game harder, I guess you could say. Whereas this system, the core pack is the obvious pack that you want to get. That's why it's called a core pack. Let's see. So the second pack is called the expansion pack, which is going to include all of what do you call it? The cards from the newest set. Whereas before it was, oh, this is awkward. I can't do what I wanted to do in the game. Anyways, so it includes the newest set, which I believe would be Oppression in this case. So I think the idea here is that if they incorporate something like Standard, you would get those. Or if you're a player who's been playing for a long time and has most of the cards from the older set, you would get that pack. But yeah, that's the idea behind that, I believe. Okay. Sorry if I'm being kind of jumpy with how I'm talking. It's because playing and talking at the same time is proving to be more difficult than I thought it would be. So the remaining 8 packs are 8 faction packs, but you will not be able to purchase those with the IP. So you will have to use real money. So I suspect that for a lot of players, at least I am deterred by that idea. I think a lot of players are probably not going to be getting those, but they will be cards specifically from one faction. So if you are looking to get cards from one faction, maybe you have a competitive deck and you're seeking to get just a couple very particular rares, your odds of getting those very particular rares is going to go up substantially if you're buying from that pack. Okay. And they also mentioned that there's some chance that they will occasionally release promo packs, which I guess would be alternate art cards and other things. So, as the name suggests, it's promotional, so the idea is that it's to get people who are older players who have a lot of experience with the game and already have a lot of the cards. It gives them a chance to get enthusiastic about cards that are old because they are suddenly new again in some sense, because suddenly a card that you at one point had already seen before becomes a very interesting card that you haven't seen before because it looks different, which if you guys play Magic or other games that have promo or alt art cards, you'll know that that's actually really exciting for a lot of people, and people will spend extra money to get things like that. So that's cool if you really like those kinds of things, and if you don't, it's a good place for you to invest your IP, unless of course they make that another real money only kind of package, I guess is the best way to say it. So I think those are all the changes. So we're just gonna finish up this Rift Run game before I end the video. My hope is maybe someday we'll get that sweet 35 win Rift Run and I'll be able to show you guys what some Infinity Borders look like. But you never know, because they're very exclusive is the very light way of putting it, because number one only on ladder is, or on the leaderboard, is a very small subsection of the players. So while we're talking about it, it's worth noting that they'll probably include those for ranked ladder as well. And as you guys who have been on this channel a little longer may have known, I do fairly well on ranked ladder. I've been on the top 100 leaderboard for a while. Right now my rank isn't that great, but it's still top 100, so it's nothing to laugh at, I guess. But the point is that there may be some opportunity for me to get those Infinity Bordered cards if I'm very lucky. If they allow players who are in the top 50 to get them or something like that, because the unlike the Rift Run leaderboard, which resets weekly, the ranked leaderboard resets very infrequently. So my hope is that they will recognize that and reward more players than just the number one with Infinity Borders. If they reward the top 50, or maybe even just the top 100, like, my dream would be that the top 100 players each will get Infinity Bordered cards, where numbers 100 to 51 would get like one Infinity Bordered card, and then more of them would be provided for players who are further up, which seems appropriate, I would say. Let's see. Anything else to say? Yeah, that's got to be it on this subject. I am looking forward to those changes, but we will have to see how it's implemented. From the sounds of it, it sounds very good. So that's something to look forward to, and more importantly is that the announcement of these changes and the patch the week ago that I just made a video about, the fact that they are having two very important patches, or at least they've discussed them close together, is a clear indicator that there are people working on the game and trying to improve it. The announcement actually said that the company that they're partnered with is working very well now, and they've got more people working on the game, and they have a lot of changes planned, and the draft changes are quote-unquote just the tip of the iceberg. So we can be expecting a lot from Infinity Wars in the near future. I'm really looking forward to it. I think you guys probably are too. And as those changes come out, I will make videos discussing them. So I will see you then. Peace out.